Welcome, everybody, back to another episode of the Trans Lesson Plan, your go to podcast for transgender history. As always, I am your host, Mari, and it is an absolute pleasure to have you all here on this Sunday afternoon. Truly, I hope you are having a great day today to start off. If you're just not waking up, because I do know that it's Sunday, I hope you still have a good day regardless. um, Knowing me, I feel like I want to wake up at 12 afternoon, but my gut is telling me that's not going to happen. So I hope that I can get a little bit of that rest that I want because I do need it. But like I said, just welcome everybody on this Sunday afternoon. If this is your first time here, welcome. I hope that you absolutely enjoyed today's podcast episode. I think you're going to absolutely love it. If you listen to this episode and you do enjoy, please go ahead, check out other episodes. Don't forget to subscribe as well. Wow, getting my words mixed up today. I just came back from the gym. Subscribe as well. And if you are a returnee, thank you so much for continuing to support the Trans Lesson Plan and be one of our loyal listeners and coming in every Sunday afternoon to listen to the brand new episode once it drops. Thank you all so much. Because of you, we hit a milestone. My milestone is that we hit 5,000 listeners. So that is absolutely amazing. I love looking at my milestones with the podcast because when I first started, it was actually during the pandemic. I had to stop because there's a lot of other things going on. And since then, I wanted to start it back up, of course. So now this gives me the opportunity to give you all some consistency while also educating too as well. So with that, sadly, today is the last episode for season 4. So I will be out traveling for 2 weeks. So season 5 will be back up the first week of May. So bear with me, you all. I know that you all like to kind of come in here and check out every Sunday when something drops. But I just want to give you all a heads up that I'll be out for 2 weeks doing some other things, traveling, researching, all that good stuff. So give me about 2 weeks. I'll be back May 5th. And that's when season 5 will drop. Yes, I did record the episodes. Yes, the content is, I didn't record the episodes. The content is ready, but I have to record the episodes. There we go. So, I got everything lined up for y'all. It's just a matter of just me putting it in the audible format that you all can listen to when May 5th comes around. So, sad that season 4 is ending, but happy that we can continue to go with another season and then have season 5 after that. So, because you all, thank you so much. This is why season 5 will continue to go, and then we're going to continue to have the Trans Lesson Plan for many, many seasons. So with that, if you are new here, I want to kind of give a breakdown of what this podcast is, kind of how it goes, and of course, get into today's episode. So the Trans Lesson Plan is a podcast that is dedicated to exploring the rich, diverse, and often untold history of the transgender community. And each episode, we dive deep into narratives that have been often overlooked or forgotten. And we really shine the light on the stories of courage, resilience, and revolution that have been pivotal in shaping the world that we live in today. So during this journey, it's definitely an honor, really, to look into the history of the countless transgender individuals who have stood against adversity, those who have instigated change in the shadows to become the figureheads for the rights and acceptance of our community. And I want to be able to tell those tales with passion and determination, so that we can secure a better future. So this podcast aims to educate, inspire, and provoke thought, encouraging a greater understanding and respect for the transgender community. Whether you're an avid history buff, a member of the community, an ally, or just simply curious to learn more, this is where I want to invite you all into this podcast and in this enlightening journey. So remember that, this isn't just a history lesson. This is really a celebration of transgender lives. It's a testament of their strength and an acknowledgement to our contributions to society. So with that, I want to welcome you to the Trans Lesson Plan. So let's get into today's episode. So today, We'll be diving deep into the remarkable history of the Institute of Sexual Research and its profound impact on transgender history and also the community. So, if you are not familiar with the Institute of Sexual Research, it's the world's first trans clinic. That's kind of like give like a overview of what it is, right? The Institute of Sexual Research was found by the pioneer sexologist Magnus Hirschfeld, which I did do an episode on, I believe, in season 2, maybe season 1. So if you have not listened to that episode, I highly recommend going and check that episode out to learn more about Magnus. In Berlin, Germany, in 1919. Now, Hirschfeld was a true trailblazer in the field of sexual research, and he was one of the first advocates for transgender rights, and his work laid the foundation for many of the concepts that we understand today. Now, Hirschfeld was a firm believer in the concept of sexual intermediaries, which is a groundbreaking notion that gender was not binary, but a spectrum. And this was a revolutionary idea at the time, challenging the rigid, societal norms and opening up perspectives on gender and sexuality. Now, I said this in some of my podcast episodes, so if you're new, you may not have heard me say this before, but I have a graph that I show to all my clients when I do a consultation or a presentation that shows that gender is a spectrum. A lot of people aren't familiar with that concept because, as we know, we are hooked on to societal norms, brainwashed by that ideology of a gender binary, where, like I said, it's either man or woman. But we have individuals as well who don't really fit in either one of those categories. Whether they were born with a defect or not, you don't have to fit into those boxes. And as we look at the oldest of times, and I've done, podcast episodes on how far back those who did not really fit in those gender binaries have always been around. So it's not a new phenomenon or something that's abnormal. It's been around for decades. It's just man-made written ideologies were put into place to scare us away from that reality. But the Institute was more than just a center for academic research. It was a refuge for individuals who did not conform to the traditional gender norms of the time. And it provided really a safe space where they could seek medical and psychological assistance and express their identities freely without judgment. And the Institute also advocated for legal protections for transgender individuals, tirelessly working to change societal attitudes and laws that discriminated against them. Now, the medical assistance provided by the Institute was groundbreaking, right? It was one of the first places globally where hormone therapy and gender affirmation surgeries were performed. And these were pioneer procedures, as we all know, not only just now, of course, but at the time, which actually foreshadowed what's today. And they provided transgender individuals with the opportunity to live in a body that was more closely aligned with their gender identity. And this was a game-changing moment, obviously, in transgender history. And it was a breakthrough that fundamentally changed the possibilities for transgender individuals around the world. Like I said, Joe, I'm so sorry. I'm still kind of tired, catching my breath from the gym, so bear with me. I literally just came back. I took a shower, and I'm like, look, I got to record this episode, so I'm so sorry. But in addition to the medical work at the Institute, the efforts in the legal arena were nothing short of revolutionary. Hirschfeld and his team fought for the discrimination of homosexuality and the legal recognition of gender identity. And they campaigned relentlessly, arguing for the rights of transgender individuals to live openly and authentically without the fear of legal repercussions. And their work was instrumental in shifting public policy and societal attitudes towards a more inclusive and understanding perspective. Now, beyond its legal and medical contributions, the Institute also played a crucial role in changing societal attitudes towards transgender individuals. Now, Hirschfeld and his colleagues undertook the significant efforts to educate the public about transgender issues. They aim to foster understanding and acceptance, breaking down barriers, dispelling misconceptions, and challenging harmful stereotypes towards transgender individuals. Now, I want to shout out all of those individuals out there today who identify as trans, or if you're an ally who is very knowledgeable in transgender individuals as well in the community, to continue to educate the public, whether that's social media, whether that's in person, whether that's going to Fortune 500 companies, wherever you can and however you can educate. We need to continue with that fight because, yes, we're absolutely more prominent more than ever right now in today's society. But also, we had a group of people who were fighting back then, and we need to make sure that we continue those practices even today to ensure and let people know that we are around. It's normal for us to live like this because this is exactly who we are, who we always wanted to be. And this doesn't make us weird. It doesn't really even make us different either at all, in my opinion. We're just regular human beings who just want to live a normal life. So continue to do your work. If you're a consultant, an advocate, an educator, any title that goes out there, and make sure that we can foster understanding and acceptance within the transgender community. Unfortunately, the Institute's groundbreaking work was actually cut short when it was forcibly closed by the Nazis in 1933. However, as you can see, its legacy is still very much alive, and the Institute's pioneering work laid the groundwork for modern understandings of transgender rights and acceptance. Even today, its influence can be felt in the ongoing fight for transgender equality around the world. Now, if you're new here, I always like to do key takeaways because it's very big for me that you all kind of get the overall gist of basically really what we just talked about, but things I just think is very important to note as well. Now, some key takeaways from this episode include the understanding that the Institute of Sexual Research was a pioneering institution that fundamentally changed the landscape for transgender individuals. Its groundbreaking work in providing medical assistance, advocating for legal protections, and fostering societal acceptance has a profound impact on transgender history overall, and it always will. And for those who identify as trans, for us, this serves as a reminder that we have a rich history of advocates who have fought for the rights and recognition of us. And the Institute's work, particularly in the realm of medical assistance and legal advocacy. With that, it paved the way for many of the rights and protections that we have today. Furthermore, the Institute's belief in the idea that gender is a spectrum and not a binary can actually help us who identify as transgender feel seen and validated in our identities. And the Institute's work serves as a testament to the fact that diverse gender identities have been recognized and affirmed throughout history, challenging the notion that this, like I said, is not a recent or new phenomenon. And in addition to that, the Institute's relentless fight for legal protections for transgender individuals provides a blueprint for ongoing advocacy efforts, and it serves as a reminder of the importance in continuing to fight for legal recognition and protections for the community. And lastly, the Institute's commitment to public education about transgender issues can inspire, like I said, our current and even our future advocates, the youth, to continue on this important work that we see today. By fostering understanding and acceptance, we can continue to break down barriers and challenge harmful stereotypes about transgender individuals and also the community, and lastly, our history. So with that, to kind of wrap it up, the Institute of Sexual Research legacy is a testament to the long history of advocacy for transgender rights and recognition. It serves as both a source of inspiration and a call to action for those who continue to fight for transgender equality today. And as I draw a close to today's episode, it is clear that the Institute for Sexual Research was a beacon of hope and change in the world that was often hostile to those who didn't fit the traditional norms. And truly, its legacy serves as a powerful reminder of how far we've come in our understanding and acceptance of diverse gender identities, but also serves as a call to action for the work that still needs to be done. So with that, that is today's episode on the Institute of Sexual Research. I hope that this episode brings a discussion that gives you a deeper understanding of the remarkable history and impact of the Institute for Sexual Research. Highly recommend researching it via Google or whatever you use for like your research. Your research is definitely Google, of course, for sure. Sorry. Just to get more information about it, and also, like I said, check out my previous episode on Magnus Hirschfeld as well to learn more about him and how much he's been an impact to fight for transgender equality. So with that, thank you all so much for listening. Of course, I always look forward for you all. I'll always look forward for you all to join me next time in the next 2 weeks for season 5's debut. If you have not already, please go ahead and follow us on Instagram. You can follow us at the Trans Lesson Plan. If you want to follow the host, me, Mari, you can follow me at mariiiwrld. That is MAR3ISWRLD. As I just mentioned, don't forget to follow our newsletter as well. Sign up for that. Like I said, I will drop the link in this podcast description below. I just want 2 boxes. That's all I want. Just put your name and your email, and that's it. That's all you got to do. And as I mentioned, you'll be the first to know more about, latest episodes and additional resources and stuff like that can help you out to learn more about transgender history as well. Now, I want you all to have a great Sunday. Please enjoy yourself. If you haven't rested yet, please get the rest, because that's what I'm about to go do. As I just mentioned, I came from the gym. As you can see, I'm absolutely exhausted. So go ahead and get the rest. And I will see you all back here in 2 weeks. And I absolutely thank you all so much for listening to today's episode. And I cannot wait to see you all back. So with that, have a great Sunday. And I'll see you all in 2 weeks. Peace.